So I just got off a webinar with my accountant, Evolve Finance. They are a company that pretty much only works with high six and seven figure online business owners. And they gave kind of a state of online business. It was really, really fascinating. If they have a replay link, I'll be sure to link it for you down below if you want to check it out. But one of the things that I found the most interesting was they talked about how online business owners are acquiring their leads today. Because let's be honest, today, at least at the time of recording this in 2025, things have changed for online business. Things have gotten a little bit harder, a lot harder due to a lot of factors, which again, they go over in their session. But somebody in the chat asked, well, how are people acquiring leads? How are your successful online business owners getting leads? Because for us, Facebook ads aren't working anymore. Google ads aren't working anymore. And they said, and I'm paraphrasing here, content. Content marketing was where it's at. It's all about kind of the fight for the feed, the fight for the algorithm, and, that resilience to take up space and showcase your knowledge, your expertise, just like we're doing right here. And I thought this was a really timely anecdote to hear and to talk about before I recorded this video because I want to talk all about YouTube. You guys, I've said it so many times. I know you're tired of hearing it, but YouTube truly, organic YouTube, organic content marketing truly has been my saving grace over this past year. And honestly, just throughout my time running a business, running an online business, a service-based business, all the different aspects of my business, right? So, if you are somebody who's struggling in your business, if you're struggling to find high quality leads, if you're struggling to get wider reach, especially as these algorithms nowadays are like so frustrating and confusing and changing all the time, I really implore you to think about YouTube. I genuinely mean it. I genuinely am passionate about it. I could talk about it all day. And today I want to talk to you about kind of the first steps, the first things that you should think about if you are somebody who's ready to start a YouTube channel. I am currently launching my first ever YouTube cohort. It's called the YouTube Creator Accelerator. And we'll actually be walking through these 4 to 5 steps together across a span of 5 weeks, starting very soon if you're watching this on launch. So I will leave a link for that down below with some more information. You can also email me, hey@latashajames.com if you have questions or if you're watching this while doors are closed. I'd love to talk to you about it. There'll be a learn section. We'll be meeting every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern for the next 5 weeks, and I'll be teaching you more about these concepts. And then there'll be a challenge or an activity where you can actually try and do these activities yourself. And then there's a community where we can get together, review feedback, cheer each other on, support each other, go view each other's videos to get us out of that zero view jail. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm truly so excited. And most importantly, my goal is that you actually develop a roadmap to earn an income from your YouTube channel, that we don't just sit around and create pretty videos, even though we will hopefully do some of that, but that you'll actually walk away with a monetization plan for your YouTube channel. Okay, so the first thing that you need to think of is what I like to call your creator recipe. And this is module 1 of the YouTube Creator Accelerator. Listen, there are a lot of different things that you could do with YouTube. And honestly, it really starts with the first challenge, which is creating a monetization map. What a monetization map is for me is it is kind of an outline of how I'm going to make money, how I'm going to use my YouTube channel to make money. For me, there have been several different revenue streams that YouTube has helped with. The first is services. I think that's kind of where it started for me. I was a social media manager. I wanted to establish credibility, show the world that I knew what I was talking about. And so it helped me book service-based leads. I've got several videos that I can point to where, I just did one not too long ago where I talked about different ways to market a local business. That video actually got me quite a few high quality service-based leads, people who wanted me to do their marketing for them or help them create videos. My first video that ever got me a service-based lead was a review of a tech product, a SaaS tool basically. And a competing startup reached out to me and said, "Hey, you seem to know a lot about this stuff. Can we hire you as a consultant?" So, service-based leads can absolutely come from YouTube. The second way that I generate income from YouTube is through courses or products. This could be any type of product, right? We think about digital products like a course, like a membership, like a template. And how I communicate the value of those through my videos is just by having the YouTube description box filled out with clickable links over to my courses, having an email funnel built out. There's a lead magnet in my description box to my YouTube videos. People join that, and then they get put through a workflow over in my email tool that softly sells them different online programs and services and other things as well. And then the last way is through brand partnerships. You may notice every once in a while there's an ad read in one of my podcasts or a YouTube video that's sponsored. Those are a little bit less frequent for me, but I've been lucky to cultivate brand relationships over the years and get some of my videos sponsored. And also, brand deals are something that come with an audience, right? They come with consistency. They come with uh, kind of that reputation built up, for lack of better words. When you're first starting out, it is hard to include sponsorships into your revenue mix because, you don't have much of an audience yet. So that can be challenging. But what you can do is leverage brand relationships in the form of affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing for me I think maybe 40K or so last year I did in affiliate income just from one tool. That doesn't even count some of the other tools I've used, which is not anything to scoff at, right? So that is something that you can start doing with pretty much zero followers. So the point is you need to know how you plan to make money so that you can optimize your content and optimize your channel sort of infrastructure, meaning your description box, your banner, your links on your channel page, even just the types of content you're creating, which we're going to talk about next. You can kind of center that all around that primary revenue stream. And I actually recommend in today's world that creators actually leverage all three of those different streams that I talked about. But it makes sense that in the beginning, you're probably going to be leveraging one to start with. And then you can kind of scale and, dip your toes into different buckets, if you will, as you go on and as you sort of learn what your audience responds to. So the next step is to create an editorial calendar and basically just plan out what you're going to post. If you're a longtime listener, you know that Metricool is a sponsor of the Freelance Friday podcast, and they're always coming out with new features. This is one of the reasons that I absolutely love this tool. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, it is a social media scheduling, planning, analytics, competitor research, ad tool. They do so many things. So if you're a social media manager, an agency, a content creator, or any small business owner who's looking to organize your social media posts, not be glued to your phone all the time, be sure to use my code Latasha. You can try any of their premium plans, 30 days free using that code and that link. They also have a free forever plan, which is amazing. But I want to share with you really quickly some of the new features that they've come out with over the past few months. First up, you can schedule polls for LinkedIn. They had a 2025 LinkedIn report, which I did a whole video about, by the way. And they found that polls are the least used content format, but saw a 205% increase in reach. So if you're looking for a new set of eyes for your content, you got to make sure you're scheduling LinkedIn polls, and you can do it directly through Metricool now. They also have these amazing integrations for Google Drive, Canva, and Adobe Express. So you can have your assets all centralized and pull them in without having to have multiple tabs going and downloads and all that annoying stuff. They have a reuse content button. So if you schedule posts within Metricool and you see that it's performing well, now you can reuse it and schedule it onto a different platform or to a different day and really make the most out of it. So be sure to check out Metricool. It is totally free to get started, especially if you use my code. That code Latasha, Latasha, at the link down in the show notes will get you 30 days free on any of their paid plans, but they've also got an amazing free forever plan that I love and personally recommend to everyone. So the next step is to create an editorial calendar and basically just plan out what you're going to post. For me, this starts with content pillars. So, what are the big overarching sort of themes or buckets of content that you want to post about? I'll give an example. And actually, this is something I sort of need to work on myself. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing live, while we're in this course for those of you who are going to join me. But just an example, if I maybe sold courses for social media managers and content creators, I might make one of my pillars be social media marketing tips. The second pillar might be lifestyle of a freelancer. And the third pillar might be like content tips or something like that. The idea of content pillars is that they're related, that they lend themselves to one another, but they enable you to sort of tie back to your kind of your offers, frankly. Like, if you don't have an offer around the best vegan taco recipe, you probably shouldn't make that a core central part of your YouTube channel. You can absolutely share taco recipes in your vlogs that are about the life of a freelancer, but it doesn't make sense to create a standalone video about that. And that's something that, I am an example of, right? I share different things that I'm interested in and that I'm passionate about, and I'm able to sort of flex those creative muscles, if you will, and just create community and have fun with you guys. But I don't make standalone videos about things that do not tie back to something that I actually offer, even something like a vlog, right? Like, I used to just do vlogs that were like, hey, I went to Disney World today or something like that, just something kind of fun and random. Today, I would frame that vlog a little bit differently. I would call it like working remotely from Disney World. Here's how I run a multi six figure business while being in, the happiest place on earth or something like that. There's a framing to it that you can use to, at the end of the day, move your business forward and earn yourself more revenue, because I'm showcasing the life of a freelancer. And then somebody might say, okay, well, how do I become a freelancer? And then maybe they take a course or book a coaching program or hire me to help them run their business, right? You also want to think about content formats though. So in addition to just like, are you going to do long form content? Are you going to do short form content? There's also the question, are you going to do podcasts? Are you going to do vlogs? Are you going to do tutorials? Are you going to do screen shares? And then there's kind of this sort of balancing act that I like to think about, which is, are you going to do community content or content for the algorithm? And the answer is you should do both and you should balance them. So again, content for the algorithm might be something like how to create a social media strategy step by step. Whereas content for my community might be rethinking my social media strategy. Let's chat about it as a vlog or as a live stream or as a Q&A or something like that, that kind of invites viewers in and helps build that relationship more so than just like a talking head that could be frankly anybody or, a robot, chat GPT, right? You want people to develop a relationship with you. I think that is why YouTube is so special. Now, I really like to plan out my content calendar quarter by quarter, like at least overarching, like big ideas, big initiatives. If I want to do a special series, or yeah, if I do have travel planned or something like that, one, so I can just make my life easier and make sure that I'm pre filming. So I'm not having to actually film at Disney World, aside from the things that I want to film, but also so that I am just, thinking things out clearly. Because I find when I get in this spot where I'm just like very responsive for anything aside from vlogs, which are more real time, for like podcasts, if I'm just like, oh shoot, I need a podcast this week, I find that they tend to, they might do well, they might perform well in the algorithm, but they typically are not tying back to a bigger initiative. They're kind of just like, why did I do that? I didn't have maybe a lead magnet that I could have connected and actually gotten some emails. I could have invited them to a webinar where I then sold a product or service. It's not like fully fleshed out when I'm just kind of acting off the cuff. So that's a challenge that we're going to do together, is actually build out quarterly content calendars together. Now, with that said, that kind of ties into something that I've alluded to, is you want to really develop your sales strategy as well. We talked about what the monetization map is going to be. For some of us, that might be leaning heavily into brand deals. If you already have a large audience, let's say on TikTok or Instagram, and you're porting your users over to YouTube, it might be easy for you to build a following quickly, get high engagement, and start pitching to brands and getting brand deals. But for those of us who, well, number one, you're going to need a sales strategy for that too. You're going to need to learn how to pitch people. You're going to need pitch emails and templates, and you're going to need to build a media kit and so much more. But for those of us who are more using YouTube as a sales funnel to get people down to our point of purchase, you're going to need to build out that infrastructure. And again, I've alluded to this a little bit already, but for me, it pretty much starts with email. So it starts with a lead magnet, either join this live webinar, join this class, download this worksheet, this template, this tool, and then my email platform is going to start to sell, my paid products, my paid services. And I think there is also just a bit of a learning curve when it comes to selling on YouTube, in that people frankly don't want to be sold to these days. I certainly don't. Like, I get on YouTube and I want to have fun. I want to relax. I want to maybe have a laugh. And yes, we still like, I think YouTube University is something that a lot of people say, right? People do go to YouTube to get an answer to their question, especially as it relates to maybe a business tool or resource. But at the end of the day, if you are just like, hey, sign up for this, like, nobody wants that. You need to develop that unique recipe, showcase your personality, be a real human, and serve before you ask for a sale. I truly believe that. I hear from people all the time, like, how do I know that I'm not just giving away too much value for free? And I'm like, if you're asking that question, I don't know if you're meant to help people, and at the end of the day, being like an educator, being a service provider, being a coach is a helping profession. Like, you are serving people. I don't really think too hard about whether or not I'm giving too much value away for free, because the reason people buy a course or a coaching program or a service isn't because they can't do it themselves, or they can't learn how to do it themselves, or there isn't enough information out there on the internet. It's because they're paying for your expertise, and they're paying for convenience of you curating things together for them. And they might be paying for other things like a community, for example. That's a part of the course that I offer. It's a live cohort. We're learning together. You can't get that just by watching my YouTube videos, right? But I also think there is a bit of strategy involved. If you are worried about giving too much away for free, you can think of it this way. I think of free content, organic content, as sort of the what and why content. So, why you should start a YouTube channel, what you need to start a YouTube channel, what to post for your first YouTube video. I don't know, just examples. The how, the actual step by step hand holding process of how to do those things, how to set up your first ever mirrorless or DSLR camera, or how to actually record a podcast, come into the studio, right? Like, these things are going to be either services or paid products or paid offers. So you can kind of think of it that way, and how they can sort of lend each other. The next thing you want to do is get a grip on your tech. And honestly, I say keep your tech stack as lean as possible. One editor, a video editing platform. If you decide to edit yourself, which is not required, if you have an existing business that is making money and you have a little bit in the budget, hire an editor. I am so tired, and I love you guys, but I am so tired of getting on coaching calls or, talking to people at conferences and them saying, I have 10 videos recorded. I just keep, dragging my feet on editing. But they have multi six-figure businesses. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to need you to just suck it up and hire an editor for at least the first couple videos, to get you moving, so you can maybe find the time and see some magic happen from those first few videos, perhaps, that will incentivize you to keep at it. So, number one, you don't have to edit yourself. Number two, if you are going to edit yourself, if you have a leaner budget, or if you just like that creative control, like I do, unfortunately, I've got tools that I can recommend you. I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos, but I think one that's great and that's super easy is Riverside. They actually have a magic edit feature. You can literally click a button and it will edit your video for you. I mean, I always recommend with any AI thing, like double check it, tweak it, make sure that, it's to your liking. But it definitely cuts down editing time, especially if you're a new editor. As far as gear, like camera, I'm not even joking, your iPhone. I'm serious. I record with my iPhone all the time, especially for my vlogs. It's just so much easier. The quality is good. And I have an old iPhone. It's like an iPhone 12 or 13 or something. And still, no one's ever been like, oh, your vlog clip looks bad. And I'm using the front facing camera. If you use the back facing camera for like a sit down video like this, you're going to get amazing quality. Seriously. Just invest in a mic. That's the one thing. I really like the Movo Nano mic is a great one. It's like 50 bucks. I'll link everything down below. And I've got lots of videos on this channel about the tech, all the way from like that simple setup to a more fancy setup like this. So I won't spend too much time on this, but just figure out what you really need and start creating. Like truly, that is, you just have to push yourself. I show this every time I talk about YouTube. I'll go ahead and give you a screenshot of my first YouTube video ever, college apartment, filmed at night, flat against a wall. It looks horrible. Point and shoot camera, like a 2005 era point and shoot camera. The sound quality was horrible. But guess what? I started. And it was that video that made this whole thing happen. If I would have just given up, I would not be here. And I didn't give up. I posted that video and I fell in love with the process. I was like, wow, this is so cool. This is so fun. And I improved year over year, month over month, day over day. Every single day, I'm improving and trying different things and learning new things. And then lastly, you just want to analyze your growth. And, really, this comes with time. I mean, I think this kind of lends itself to what I was just saying is honestly, the next thing you have to do is just stay consistent because you have to almost prepare yourself and say, I'm not going to see like out of this world results from this YouTube channel for at least the next few months. And I know that's kind of hard to hear. And I know it is an investment in time to be able to like commit yourself to that. But if you fall in love with the process, it'll be fun and you will see results. You will meet people, right? You will develop a new skill set that if you're a service provider, you could start charging money for this now. If you start becoming an editor, you start, filming content, you can now add that to your portfolio and start pitching that service to other paying clients, number one. You're going to meet people, especially if you join a program like mine, where we'll be a part of a cohort together. You'll meet friends. I just got a comment on one of my Instagram posts from one of my early YouTube friends. We did Veda, Vlog Every Day in April together, like probably 10 years ago now. And he was like, I bet you don't remember me. And I'm like, I bet you I do. We were besties. And those people still support, those people still support me and I still support those people and those connections matter. So if nothing else, you'll be meeting people. But also the thing about YouTube is it compounds. I truly feel like YouTube is an investment. Some of the other platforms I think are just a little bit more like, ephemeral. It's like you post once and then you kind of just get lost in the feed and people forget about you. Something about like platforms like TikTok too, this kind of FYP style feed is a lot of times people don't even know who you are. Like I don't. I'm like, oh yeah, I love that guy who does those like man on the street interviews where he asks about blah, blah, blah. I don't know his name. I don't know where he is from in the world. I don't know how to find his website. I don't know how to pay him. I just see him once in a while. And there's a benefit to that if you're leaning on like on platform monetization, like YouTube AdSense, TikTok fund, whatever it's called, that kind of thing. But if you are looking to really build out that sales funnel and sell a service, product, offer, become recognizable, I really do believe that YouTube is where it's at. And it does, it compounds over time because it is an SEO platform. So often this happens to me where I'll like post a video, I'm like, wow, okay, that one flopped. The first week, it gets like no views. This is in particular for me, it's when I do tutorials for some reason. I don't know what that is, but I'll be like, okay, nobody cares about HoneyBook, whatever. Well, guess what? I'm one of HoneyBook's top affiliates. They invited me to their headquarters to give a keynote speech. And that all started from one of those videos that I thought flopped. It flopped because it just didn't do well immediately with my initial audience. But what it did is it actually broadened my audience. And over months and even years, it became a go-to place for people to learn about that tool and sign up using my affiliate link. So, all that to say, consistency is really, really important, but also, yes, measuring and making sure that things are going in an upward direction, which you'll be able to see if you have a proper sales funnel set up, if you know what metrics to look at in the back end of the YouTube dashboard, and, if you've got your goals set up from the start, like we're going to do, hopefully, in step one, like I talked about. That's what I would start with if I were starting a YouTube channel today. And that's what we're going to start with together in the YouTube Creator Accelerator. I'd love to have you join if you are feeling called to start YouTube. I believe if you're being called to it, there's a reason and there's a message out there that you probably need to share. And there's also probably some really nice, untapped, lead potential for you as well for your business. So think about it. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check it out. And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope it was helpful for you. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.